Okay, so today we're doing tomato soup from scratch. It's really yummy. So we're gonna start with half an onion diced up. I like mine a bit chunkier. I guess is the best way to put it.
What you put in first before you put the onion?
A stick of butter. That's what the cameraman's for. So I'm gonna add about, let me shake this up real quick. About a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Of course, it's us, we don't measure stuff. I love apple cider vinegar. Well, the smell of it, I really like. Which is just odd because, you know. Then I'm gonna add about 3/4 cup of, if you had Fennes Sherry, you would add that. We've got white wine, white cooking wine, dry. But you want a white sherry or wine. I mean, it doesn't hurt it too much to be a dark wine. Yeah. We'll be back when the onion sort of
Browning.
well, get translucent, I guess is the proper word to put it. Yeah. Okay, so the onion is nice and translucent. This is basically to boil. We're gonna add some diced tomatoes. You could drain it, but you're about to add a bunch of juice as well, so really no use to draining it. I'll see where that is. That was one 14.5 ounce can. I think that's good. Then we're gonna add 4 cups of tomato juice. We just use V8 Original. Works the same, tastes the same. Extra vegetables. So we're gonna let this, wait, no. I'll grab stuff and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've got the stuff. So this is a pretty important part in previous videos. I think it was the mother sauce video that I mentioned this. You should be very considerate of those with heartburns whenever you're dealing with anything tomato. So in this soup, you do have butter. In the tomato sauce, we added a lot of butter. In this soup, there's something in it that butter isn't enough to compensate, I guess, for the acidity, so heartburn city. So you add about 4 tablespoons of sugar. You could add baking soda, but that would mess with the flavor. Trust me, I've tried a lot of things for acidity. Don't use baking soda, I don't recommend it. I'm gonna stir that. Today the tomatoes are very acidic. You don't need to stir it. So I'd say about 3 more. Very acidic today. That should be good. Then we'll be adding about 2 tablespoons of chicken base. This is basically super condensed chicken stock. Very, very salty. I made the amateur mistake the first time I made this of like, hey, it shouldn't be that salty. It is. I'm usually the amateur mistake of, hey, cayenne pepper, surely it's not that spicy. It is. Now we add ground black pepper, a lot of it. It gives a lovely flavor to the soup. and I mean a lot.
Make sure you don't sneeze when you're making it.
Yeah, the funny thing about me is whenever I'm cutting onions, I don't cry. And whenever I deal with black pepper, I don't sneeze. I'm, like, completely happy about that. So we're gonna let this get basically a boil, and then we'll be back.
Here's our little sous chef.
Okay, so we're at a boil. I'm gonna turn off the heat. So I've got about a 1/4 cup of parsley. Just gonna throw that in there. Then I'm gonna do what's called a chiffonade. Basil and mint and sometimes sage. Just depends on the plant with sage, I find. Have this enzyme in them that causes the herb to become to blacken, basically, whenever you cut it. So basically you make a cigar, is what it's called, and do a chiffonade. I don't think I've talked about this in a previous video, but if I have, review.
If not, we'll explain it more later.
Well, basically, you roll it up into a cigar, you lay all the basil pieces into all flat, then roll it up, and then just cut strips. That basically gives you the least amount of area used. So I've got about a 1/4 cup of parsley, 1/4 cup of basil, and 1 large sage leaf. The sage is, well, the sage depends on your taste of it. This, because it was super acidic, needed the sage because sage is sort of unique. I've talked about the flavor triangle before, and the most basic form is a triangle, but usually it's never just the triangle, where you've got earthiness, earthiness, sweetness, and I believe it's salt. It's been a while. And because we added acidic, we made a square, and we confiscated in sugar for the acid, but a square is not a great thing. You usually want an odd number of a shape, so I added the sage because sage really is its own category, if you ask me. Yeah, I'll probably do a video on seasoning basics. So basically we've got that. Now I can hear the screams of people watching this. We're adding 1 1/2 cups of heavy cream to this. So yeah.
Because it gets so thick.
Nope. Because there's so much fat. And basically, right now, it's curdled. Basically just have to mix it until the curdles are too fine to be seen. Welcome to cooking. Basically, you have to keep everything a secret to your guests. Because generally it's like this, looks disgusting. But it tastes good, so...
It's really, really good.
At this point, if you want it a bit less chunky, you could use an immersion, that's the word, blender, and blend it. I've done that, but you have to do it for a very long time at a very high speed to get it not chunky. An advantage of using an immersion blender is you don't have to continue stirring it until the curdles look normal. So that's basically it. Add lots of black pepper. Off camera I added about the same amount and it tastes amazing. Hope you liked this. Make sure to like, comment any cooking questions you have. We're hoping to do a video on answering a bunch of cooking questions, and share it with your friends.
And give this a try.
Yep. See you next time.